That's what he does.
God will never let you down.
Never ever let you down.
But he should you place your feet on solid ground. Oh yeah, Jesus is the way to wash away your sin, my dear. So take up your cross, my friends, and follow him. Take it up now and follow. Lay down your burden and follow. Confess your sins now and follow. Let's follow him, follow him. The love of the Lord will never let you down, I know.
That is really a reassuring song.
It's on solid ground.
No matter what, he loves us.
This is the way to wash away.
He really does.
So take up your cross, my friends, and follow him. Time to wake up and follow. The love of the Lord will never let you down. Time to wake up and follow.
And I've got a great surprise for us this morning.
On solid ground.
A privileged moment.
Jesus is the way to.
This morning, the first part of the conversation, I will be hosting Pastor Stanford Simon together with Edson Ajamu Mitchell.
The Lord will never let you
Yeah. I look forward to this with great anticipation, that conversation this morning. Ajamu, my friend, together with Pastor Stanford Simon as they promote redemption. Yeah, going across the entire island. Good morning, Kingman. How you do? Pastor Stanford Simon and the congregation of the St. George's Baptist Church. Good morning to you. Folks, it's 27 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock, and you know what we do at this time on mornings. You know, so it's no secret, absolutely no secret. You know what we do. And quickly we go to, our Facebook, Miss Maxwin Belfon. Good morning, GBN. Happy New Year. I want to wish myself a happy birthday too. Happy birthday to you, Maxwin Belfon. You have two surnames, Maxwin and Belfon. Good morning to the Maxwin family, wherever you are. Mr. Wayne Maxwin out there in Birch Grove, good morning to you and the family. Yeah, how do you do? Everybody all right? Nice. Good, so let's see what's happening this morning. And, we always give you a word to stimulate your word power, your vocabulary. Yeah, and this morning it's no different. And this morning the word for the day is implaceable. It's implaceable. I-M-P-L-A-C-A-B-L-E. That's the word of the day. And implacable means not capable of being appeased, significantly changed, or mitigated. In essence, it's not placeable. Right? The prefix "im" in that case means not. All right? So implaceable means not being able to be placed, not placeable. Okay, so it can be used this way. It's such a breath of fresh air to watch a movie whose antagonist is not some evil, implacable villain, but a regular person who sees the error in their ways by the time the credits roll. Write it down. It can be a mouthful, but yeah, it makes sense. It's such a breath of fresh air to watch a movie whose antagonist is not some evil, implacable villain, but a regular person who sees the error in their ways by the time the credits roll. We're talking about the James Bond movies, boy. That villain, that name must be crazy. Yeah, so that's the word of the day. I-M-P-L-A-C-A-B-L-E, implaceable. Not capable of being appeased, significantly changed, or mitigated. Not placeable, simply not placeable. Good morning to the folks at La Calome in St. David. Good morning to you. How are you doing? Christelina, good morning. You leave home already? Legion, the guys okay? Good morning, guys. Yes. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, now for the thought of the day. And the thought of the day today is, do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Yeah, make me strong. Don't give me anything easy. Make me strong so that I can cut and go through. Good morning to all those of you on the various buses as you head either to work or you head home or you're on some errand and you're using the public transport. Good morning to you, and keep that smile on your face. And I'm going to challenge you. Look at the person next door to you and next side to you and just give them a broad smile and tell them, give them some reassuring words. Everything is going to be all right. You wonder why I told you to do that, right? You never know what somebody is going through, and sometimes all they need is that word of encouragement. Look at the person next to you, smile. If you know them well enough, you can give them a tap on the shoulder and say, listen, everything is going to be all right. So do not pray for an easy life. Instead, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Yeah, nice. 22 minutes on to 7 o'clock. I want to say good morning, good morning, good morning to the marshals. Mr. Marshall, I hear you retire. You never retire, man. You just take a rest. Take a break from the workplace. Good morning to the folks at Seasons Paint. Nice. So we continue to say happy 49th anniversary, and we look forward to the activities that mark our 49th year as an independent nation, and that's on February 7th, and the activities began on the 13th of January. Once again, congratulations to the semi-finalists of the Calypso, the Independence Calypso competition. What else is buzzing this morning? All right, the government has reintroduced the petrol tax with effect from January 18th, and it's at a lower rate of $3.50. It was $5.50. It's now brought down to $3.50. That's the tax. However, the price of the fuel is still up, and remember I called yesterday and said it's confusing that the tax is lower but the cost at the pump is higher. Well, that's just the way it is. Good morning to you, sir. How you do? My good friend. Okay, the PM's policy on guns and ammunition still remains in the buzz, and as he says, once the cabinet ministers support his idea, his policy, then it can become law. Zero tolerance, boy. And I like that. Okay, now talks continue to swirl around about possible division within the new National Party. Fingers are being pointed at one man eyeing the leader's seat. Political leader of the new National Party, Dr. Keith Mitchell, addressed the matter during an interview earlier this week. Infighting? Who does that? Now is not time for that, Now it's time to settle down and do your jobs. Yeah. Put Grenada first. I keep saying this. Election is a season. When the season comes, we do what we've got to do. We put on all our jerseys and we take up the party mantle. But after that season, just like Easter and Christmas is gone. You're hearing Christmas carols playing anytime now? Nope, the Christmas is gone. So the election season is gone. The parties and politics are supposed to be put aside, put on the shelf for a while. Okay, you're in opposition. This is a time when you do your structuring, your restructuring and so forth behind the scenes, and you put your structures in place for when that season comes up again. But in the interim, what we should do is to join hearts and hands and do what it takes to improve the lives of people here on the Tri-Island state. Still buzzing, police continue to deal with daily vehicular accidents despite their words of caution to motorists. They were called out to investigate a three-way collision on Tuesday. Where was that? Okay. What else is buzzing? All right, the backlog has been cleared. A backlog of unstripped containers on Grenada's port affected several businesses on the island in late 2022. Some businesses were unable to receive their barrels in time for the Christmas holidays. There is now some relief as a part of the backlog is or has been cleared or is being cleared, whichever. Is it finished or is it in the process of being cleared? Yeah, these are the stories that are buzzing this morning. Okay, so like I said to you this morning, we will be having, all right, because we don't know what could happen, all right, but we're intent on having Pastor Stanford Simon and Edson Ajamu Mitchell on the first part of the conversation this morning. Should run us to about 7:30. So the conversation that I want us to look at this morning, not the time for fight for power. Okay, I want us to talk about that. All right, the infighting. Let's put Grenada first on this one. So this is where we take the break. Those of you who are with me here, all right, Mary E. Banks says good morning. Veronica Sandy, good morning. Gordon Innocent Joseph, blessed day to you and everyone. Thank you and good morning to you too. Lydia Cameron, good morning to everyone on the Spice Island, and go out, have a prosperous day. Thank you, same to you. Heaven Hill says, Innocent, do not hoodwink us as you did yesterday, making us feel there would be time to discuss issues after the interview. There was no time left. I apologize to you already. All right, I mean, come on. Okay, I hands up. Okay, I surrender all. Okay, all right. Alison Cox Osplund says, Innocent, everything going to be okay. Blessed day to all. I believe that. All right, so folks, we've got to break it here because we've got the AM edition of news, sports, and the weather. And that will be followed by the conversation. Those of you on the television platform, we've got a rebroadcast of last evening's television news. Stick and stay with us. Don't you go anywhere, because we are with you anywhere and everywhere.
All concerned are hereby advised that the main branch of the GUT Cooperative Credit Union Limited, located on the corner of Grenville and St. John Street, St. George's, will be closed on Thursday 19th and Friday 20th January 2023. This closure has become necessary to facilitate the relocation of the branch to our new office on the corner of Halifax and Cross Streets, which will be operational from January 23rd, 2023. Management apologizes for any inconvenience caused and reminds all members that our branches at Victoria, Grenville, Grandance, and Carriacou are available to serve you. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Thanks for joining us. Government has reintroduced petrol tax with effect from January 18 at a lower rate of $3.50 instead of the $5.50 rate previously charged. We hear more in this Christina John report.
Long lines at various gas stations Tuesday evening as motorists capitalize on the last few hours to fuel up, anticipating price increases. On Tuesday afternoon, government issued a press release saying that sticking to its commitment in the 2023 budget to mitigate the high cost of living on the population, government has reintroduced petrol tax with effect from January 18th at a lower rate of $3.50 instead of the $5.50 rate previously charged. As a result of this policy, government will forgo an estimated $18.8 million in revenue this year. This change pushes gasoline price from $11.19 per gallon to $15 per gallon, an increase of $3.81. Diesel price increased from $12.82 to $15.84 per gallon, a difference of $3.02. The price of kerosene was $12.77 per gallon and is now $13.38 per gallon. The price of a 20-pound cylinder LPG gas remains at $40, while the 100-pound cylinder, which was $283.15, is now $293.85, a difference of $10.75. bulk gas price moves from $2.90 to $3 per pound. The petrol tax was temporarily removed in September 2022 as an immediate cost of living relief measure. As a direct result, Grenada enjoyed the lowest retail price of fuel across the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, over the last 4 months. The reinstatement of the petrol tax at a lower rate comes at the end of this temporary measure, and prices at the pump are still expected to remain below the average for the OECS. The new National Party administration introduced a $15 cap on fuel as announced in the 2022 budget presentation.
The slump in supply and consumption at the height of the pandemic triggered increased costs for fuel, and in recent months, motorists have paid more at the pump. The government will implement a cap of $15 per gallon on gasoline and diesel, effective from the next petroleum price change on December 18th, 2021.
Another key change that came into effect today, January 18th, is the harmonizing of prices of gasoline, diesel, and kerosene on the mainland and in Carriacou to ensure that residents in both locations pay similar prices for those products. The government said it continued to actively monitor fuel costs and wishes to reiterate its commitment that should price per barrel of oil result in the price per gallon of petrol exceeding $17, it will consider additional policy measures, including reinstating a cap on fuel price to mitigate the impact on the population. Christina John, GBN News.
An increase of more than $3 for gasoline at the pumps is worrying for some people. Drivers spoke about how they feel about government's reintroduction of petrol tax. Christina John was in hand and has this report.
Would you consider it paying more at the pumps? Back in September to December of 2022, government introduced measures to help ease the cost of living by removing petrol tax. As of January 18th, 2023, government has reintroduced petrol tax at a lower rate of $3.50 as opposed to the $5.50. Motorists now will be paying $15 per gallon for gas. Motorists on Wednesday reacted to government's announcement of a reintroduction of petrol tax. GBN's news crew was on location at one of the service stations in St. George and was privy to some of the comments and concerns.
Since before, when it was $16 it was a real pressure for me. And I was so happy when it go get down because I could have used $50 and I lost 2 days. But when he come back now, it's hard for me. He come back to $50 one day, one trip. So at least every day I had to put $100.
But for me, I find that was a big jump. Yeah, it could have been, something, if it increased now by a lot, it could have been $1 and some. You know what I mean? But you have to cope with it.
My thing is, how come I think I see on news last night that they have an increase in the lowering of the tax, but yet we have an increase in the petrol. To me, I didn't really understand fairly well everything about it. But I hear a decrease in the tax, but we have an increase in the petrol.
I do hope that it drop. I would like for it to stay at $11 because, it's been very helpful. The cost was, reasonable, but for it to go up, it might be a pain in the tail. Nothing I could do about it. At the end of the day, I'm going to need the gas anyways, right? So.
This young man who is into the food business made this observation. When gas price increases, it affects everyone.
That affects how business, your profitability. It affects the way you want to do business, how you do business, affects everything. So the increase in price in gas never is a good thing. It's I don't want to say it's a burden on everybody's shoulder. The government have to do what they have to do, and as business people, you don't want to raise your price of your goods, but it does affect your...
Some motorists say although they wish for lower prices, they do understand the rationale for it.
Basically, I believe it's not directly the Prime Minister's fault. It's based on the war in Ukraine, and a lot of gases and so on generate from down there. And if this happening eventually, the prices will go up. But there is nothing we could do about it. But I would real happy if can really minimize on it, because the trips I does is basically my livelihood. I'm a farmer and I have to drop down goods here. I live in Hope. I have to go up in Birchgovan Garden every morning. So that's one of my problems.
Christina John, GBN News.
Other news, talk continues to swirl around about possible division within the new National Party. Fingers are being pointed at one man eyeing the leader's seat. Political leader of the new National Party, Dr. Keith Mitchell, addressed the matter during an interview this week. More in this report.
Months, rumors have been circulating about a possible division within the new National Party and the possibility of a new political leader being elected at their next convention. NMP caretaker for the Town of St. George, Peter David, confirmed to Dr. Kellon Bob that he is seriously considering the leadership position.
Both in the campaign and after the election that it's his last election run. In fact, that was his mantra in the last election. That was his last run. I think at the swearing ceremony for the leader of the opposition, he did say that he's not going to be participating or putting himself up for leadership in the next convention, which is, he said that earlier this year. So we anticipate taking him at his word that he's not going to be putting himself up for leadership, and there would be other persons putting themselves up for leadership, and the party constitution allows a member of the party in good standing to put themselves up. I am giving active consideration to it. Of course, I have paid my dues. I go back a long way. My good friend Jomo knows most of my history there. I go back 50 years in politics. So I'm giving active consideration to it. Like I told Dr. Mitchell some time ago, once it is confirmed, once the party confirms the convention, once the party determines when the convention is going to be, then I'm going to make a public statement on it. But to be fair, I can't say other than that. I'm giving very much active consideration to the issue of leadership of the party, but that depends on a whole heap of variables, and you know how politics can be unpredictable. But Dr. Mitchell said he's leaving, and certainly I'm considering it.
However, political leader of the new National Party, Dr. Keith Mitchell, addressing the state of the party on a local media program this week, said the time at hand is not to fight for power or leadership, but to seek the interests of the people.
What's happening to the construction sectors? That's what we should be spending. And yet all this time spent on when you're going to have convention, whether there's going to be leadership change. That's not the critical factor. The critical factor is we are supposed to be serving people, helping people, not finding positions and looking for power. That's not what it's all about. Power will come, but let's serve people. Emphasis must be placed on protecting the vulnerable, helping people in the country, not this attempt at gaining positions in organization. Let's get away from this. This does not help.
The former Prime Minister reassures his supporters that the party is strong, vibrant, and united. He spoke of some of the upcoming plans for 2023, including the party's annual convention.
There is no issue. The party is alive and well. As you know, the public is remembering what it was like when the NNP was in government as opposed to what is happening now. So I don't know that there has to be any major concern about the new National Party, because when the mandate of the executive of the party constitution is that we must hold one convention a year. We just had one last year, and we have to have one, most likely we'll have one this year, but the party executive is the one that makes decision as to when a convention is held. I might have my views as to when it should be held. I have other people expressing views, but their views are not important as far as the party is concerned. The executive of the party will determine when a convention is going to be held.
GBN contacted Mr. David to get a response to Dr. Mitchell's comment, but he told our news desk that he has none at this time. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
Police continue to deal with daily vehicular accidents despite their words of caution to motorists. They were called out to investigate a three-way collision on Tuesday. Christina John reports.
A three-way motor vehicle collision along the Grenada main road left one female hospitalized. According to police report, the accident occurred in the late afternoon on Tuesday. Sergeant 271 Kevin Williams, officer in charge of the traffic department in the south of the island, provided some details on the accident.
We can confirm that sometime about 5:15 in the PM yesterday, we would have responded to a serious motor vehicle accident along the Grenada public road. That accident happened in the area close to the Limes intersection. It involved three motor vehicles, a rear-end collision involving three motor vehicles. Because of the impact, one person sustained what is called serious bodily injuries. That person was rushed to the general hospital and have since been there undergoing medical evaluation. It's a female person. That person would have sustained some, from all indication, some spinal injuries.
The officer added that the accident involved one omnibus and two SUVs. Sergeant Williams gave the assurance, based on information from the General Hospital, that the injuries sustained by the female are not life-threatening.
Indications, one of the vehicles would have had serious damages and is at the compound of the South St. George Police Station for investigation purposes, and the other two vehicles were released. There appeared to be some speeding involved in that accident, and as a result of that, at the same time, I would like to implore persons to at least obey the speed limit. The speed limit for the public roads outside of any town is 40 miles an hour, and in light of that, I want persons to at least adhere to the speed limit. Seriously, it appears from our preliminary investigation that consumption of alcohol may also be one of the contributing factors to that accident. One of the drivers was tested, and the investigation in this matter is continuing.
The officer reiterated the need for motorists to drive with due care and attention when on the nation's roads. Again, he warns against the consumption of alcohol and getting behind the wheel as a no-no.
We also want to implore persons that intend to drink or consume any form of alcohol and drive a motor vehicle that is dangerous. It's an offense to drink alcohol and drive, and worse yet, to drive under the influence of drive a motor vehicle under the being under the influence of alcohol. So it's of serious concern to us. One accident is too many, and in cases where we have serious and fatal accidents, it speaks volume.
Christina John, GBN News.
Welcome back. This is Network News. A backlog of unstripped containers on Grenada's port affected several businesses on the island in late 2022. Some businesses were unable to receive their barrels in time for the Christmas holidays. Well, there is now some relief as part of the backlog is being cleared. We hear more from Rena Thomas.
Devon Latouche, manager of the shipping department at Hubbard's Grenada, says he is pleased that his company is one of the many businesses to finally access containers that were on the island since late 2022 and were unable to be stripped. In the month of November through the end of 2022, the Grenada Port Authority saw a heavy backlog of unstripped containers caused by the heavy flow of incoming cargo for the Christmas season and protest action taken by workers. This seriously affected many businesses and their operations as they were unable to access their goods.
We had delays in accessing services, mainly stripping of containers at the port, which of course results in our customers being at a bad situation in respect of receiving their cargo in time for the Christmas holidays. As of the 6th of January, we were able to clear the the longest outstanding containers we had that came in around the 18th of December. So we're looking at around 20 days, which is a really, really extended period to wait to have access to your container. And that's just the agency getting access to the container at the port, right? The customer, of course, has to still wait a little while until the reconciliation and all of that is done, before they can actually go onto the port and access and clear the goods.
Latouche pointed out some other challenges at the port and possible solution to them.
We don't have any issues, and we must commend the port. I mean, we know their challenges, and I might dare say that we're not going to ascribe blame only to the port. Around this time of the year, carriers also go through have certain challenges in terms of vessel scheduling. So when a vessel comes in late, it only worsens the situation. And we had situations like that among the carriers serving this region. My personal view on this opinion is collaboration, yes. The extent of that collaboration depends on the willingness of the stakeholders involved. And one such solution might be having some of these cargo being removed from the port and the stuff at a location outside of the port.
Another local business affected by the backlog is Huggins Grenada. They indicated that they were able to access their containers, which were part of the backlog, by the first week in January. GBN sought a comment from the Port Authority, however, attempts were futile. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
Now, the Caribbean Development Bank is seeking to directly include the private sector in the development of the Caribbean. Beverly Telesford tuned in to the CDB's annual news conference and has this report.
After 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic, 2022 brought a return to some semblance of normalcy in the Caribbean. Collectively, Caribbean countries experienced an improvement in economic performance, but the combined impact of several years of consecutive shocks, as well as the prospect of a slowdown in the global economy and continued price pressures in 2023, threatened to derail the region's development trajectory. During the Caribbean Development Bank CDB's annual news conference on Wednesday, President of the CDB, Dr. Hyginus Jean Leon, said in order for Caribbean countries to bounce back from the effects of the COVID pandemic, global inflation, and high cost of fuel, among other crises, direct private sector engagement is critical.
It requires the region's private sector to transition from bystanders to partners in the development space, from bystanders to partners in the development space. This transition requires a change in mindset to reimagine traditional public-private partnerships, PPPs, to partnerships for prosperity and profits. As such, the region's governments will need to create an enabling environment, one, and invest in innovation, such that public value propositions offer viable investment opportunities.
Dr. Leon said the time has come for the private sector to champion growth in the region.
We accept the expectation of the private sector-led growth, but now we need to move beyond private sector-led growth to private sector-led development. In fact, pursuing growth, resilience, and transformation without a definitive role for the private sector is like playing football with some of our best strikers sitting on the bench. I think we know what happens when this occurs. We lose the game.
Private sector engagement was one of the anchors presented by the President for sparking growth, building resilience, and driving transformation in the region. The other anchors are access to finance, regional cooperation and integration, regional connectivity and transportation solutions, food sovereignty, climate action, and energy security. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Executive members of the HEON project are seeking more support from sponsors and the community for the year 2023 as the organization tries to assist more students. You see, this year so far, they were able to help 9 students to start or continue their educational journey at the TMI Community College. Rena Thomas has more.
9 first and second year students who would like to further their studies at the TMI Community College but are faced with financial challenges now have the opportunity to do so through the HEON project. The NGO is celebrating its 8th anniversary this month. PRO of the HEON project, Colleen Perriman-Rouse, explains.
So this year, what we would have done is continue with our sponsorship. We have 9 new recipients for this year. Some of them are tuition only in some instances. We do have some where we would have offered tuition and uniform for TAMCC. We do have some recipients as well where we're offering them with food packages on a monthly, transportation, etc. So the idea is to somewhat reach our recipients where they are and provide them with their needs so that they can not only go to TAMCC but go through it successfully for the next 2 years.
The NGO also aims to support 3 students to study at the New Life organization. However, Perriman-Rouse says more support from sponsors and the community is needed.
Financially, we can always do, the more monies we have is the more recipients that we can sponsor, because we do have recipients that were not sponsored due to our limited finances as well. Of course, the organization could always do with some more support, not just financially, but we can do with some other human resource support. We're always looking for new members with a drive to give back, who would want to come in and help, because when we started, I must say we celebrated 8 years this month.
She also mentioned some of the fundraising activities planned for this year so that members of the community can support them.
I must say that coming from the pandemic, a lot of our support has not been the same as prior. Remember, some of our major fundraising goals were the dinner that we would have annually, and then we would be selling stuff throughout the year, but due to the pandemic we were not able to do that. But we did have some sponsors that have been there with us, some new. We have Frederick Belfon, we have the Thomas family of St. Patrick, we have Cazell Care, who would have sponsored 3 laptops to 3 of our recipients this year, and we have Go Blue Consultancy, and these persons, along with we have Mr. Kevin as well. They would have been there to help us to fund the new recipients and existing recipients, because remember...
For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
Time for GBN ISAW. Take a look at this 3-vehicle collision.
A good eye catches all. GBN ISAW is brought to you by ClearVision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. ClearVision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ClearVision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Accidents continue to be a major concern for the traffic department of the RGPF. Tonight's ISAW features a 3-vehicle mashup captured and submitted by a concerned citizen. The accident occurred on a pedestrian crossing in the south of the island. Motorists are being urged to drive with due care and attention when traversing the nation's roads. If you have any videos or photos that you wish to share with our GBN ISAW, they can be submitted via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Solar lights are back in stock and will be available for purchase at Southern Electrical. Here is a list of the solar lights that we offer. 200 to 300 watt intelligent floodlights with camera, 300 to 500 watt solar street lights, 60, 100, 200 and 500 RGB solar floodlights, 100, 200, 300, 500 and 800 solar floodlights, solar garden lights, 25, 40, 60, 100 and 200 watt solar floodlights, 3, 7 and 10 watt solar wall lights, motion center garden lights, motion sensor floodlights, 30, 60 and 90 watt solar street lights with accessories, 5 watt solar wall lamps, 40 and 60 solar street lights, and 100 and 300 solar floodlights with battery power display. Now available at Southern Electrical, Dusty Highway, St. George. Visit our showroom today.
You ate well, drank and indulged, laughed and had so much fun for the festive season. But now it's time. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Start the year right with your health as a priority. Cleanse and flush your blood, liver and kidneys with quality herbs and supplements. Purchase one of our detox combo packs starting from $100. Purchase a full body detox pack starting from $500. Get 10% off on colonic irrigation. Get a chance to win a free colonic irrigation treatment and product coupons with every purchase. We are located in Grandin, minutes before the Food Fair Shopping Center. Immediately opposite the old Capital Bank building in the Regency Commercial Suites. Give us a call at 231-6642 or 418-7115 or visit nirvana.gd for more info. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. We know real body care. This offer is valid until March 31st, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
All right, viewers and listeners, welcome back to the conversation this morning. And as I hinted to you earlier, I will be joined by my good friends, Pastor Stanford Simon in studio with me, and of course, joined via Zoom, Edson Ajamu Kingman. All right, singing a new song. He is on the road again. Pass, good morning. Ajamu, good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to your listeners, and good morning to you.
Good morning, Pastor Simon.
Ajamu say good morning.
No, good morning. I need to say good morning. Good morning, Jamo. Good morning.
Yeah.
Hey.
Jamu looking younger. Why is that?
No, man.
The love of the Lord?
The love of the Lord.
The love of the Lord, man. You hit the nail on the head.
Yes, good. Well, it's always a pleasure speaking with both of you. You know, we have history together. We've gone way back, both Pastor Stanford and, well, Ajamu is like my papi, kind of, you know. So it's always a joy speaking with you, but under normal circumstances, I would be speaking to Ajamu on a different note.
Right.
But this morning I'm speaking to him even on a happier note.
Right.
You know, as I keep saying it on the radio, Ajamu has become my catalyst for change. You understand? Because it's a conversation Ajamu and I have always been having. I've always been battling with the calypso and my church and things like that. And the step he's made is a wonderful step. But in any case, we'll talk that personally.
Yeah, but hold on, innocent. That's the problem right there.
Go ahead.
You got to take the church out of it.
Mm-hmm.
just address your spiritual, and everything gonna be all right. Then the battle is over.
Nice.
That's how we come together with me.
Okay.
It's not about church.
All right. That's good.
You know? So if you're battling between Calypso and your church, you're lost. You ain't gonna get through.
Well, as you rightfully say, I owe you a visit, and I'll make that visit as soon as possible. So we have things to talk about, but what we're pressing on this morning is redemption.
All right.
Give us some insight into that.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. A few years ago, before COVID, God laid on my heart that we should do again across the country something to bring the country together. But also, there are a lot of people hurting, a lot of persons who need to feel the sense of peace, but in the message that is clear. We did that 16 years ago. We did across the country. I think that's the time I saw most men got saved and give their life to Christ and the transformation of person's life. And after COVID, to be able to have the opportunity to do this, or church or leadership team at the St. George's Baptist Church got together, and then to talk about how are we going to do this. And my vision is being able to do something unique and special. We came up with the title Redemption: One Christ, One Church, No One Left Behind. And Ajamu, who have been battling a lot of stuff right up to the point where he surrendered his life to Christ, and he'll tell you about that, and got baptized, and he just become the catalyst to be able to drive this whole trust that we have. He have a passion that is amazing. He be writing some amazing songs, and it is about outreach. It is about transformation. It is about making a difference in the lives of persons. So we start in St. David's on the 29th. We have a children program that starts at 4:30, and that's for the kids, a kids club, and they have a number of things for 1 hour before the program. And then at 6 o'clock the program starts, for which we have singing, we have Pan Wizard, the St. George's Baptist Church worship team, you have preaching, and you have the man himself will deliver. Have not been on stage for a long time. I'm sure he'll tell you about that, and what God have laid on his heart. So that's what it is about, and it's about bringing churches and people together. No matter the denomination, we are the persons who are driving this and leading this, but it didn't matter whether you're Catholic, Methodist, Berean, Seventh, Methodist, Anglican. It didn't matter. It's about people coming together in one place. One, to give God thanks. Secondly, to see person's life transform.
Yeah, and what impresses me most, and it really touches me at Ajamu, is the fact that where you're starting this event, and Lassa just playing Phil. We have history there.
Yeah, and something, some folks might think that this was calculated. It was not.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I had no idea that's where Pastor Steinman was going to kick off things. But then I realized, hold on, this is not Pastor Steinman. I think this is God at work.
Right.
Because this would have been a stage that I built, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for a different purpose. And now I think it's serving a bigger purpose, and converting that same environment, that same stage into something more magnificent, more spiritual, more connected. It's just something that I never thought of.
That's how God works.
That's how God works.
That's how God works.
That's right.
I've listened. Ajamu always sends me his stuff whenever he has a release, and he sent me the remix of On the Road Again. And Ajamu, you just stay right there. I'm gonna take a peek into that song. Let people hear. Those who haven't heard it, I know the world heard it already, but still, let's just do a piece of this. Ajamu, On the Road Again.
It's redemption time now. It's revival time. It's revival time now. It's redemption time. It's redemption time now. This is Jesus time. This is Jesus time now. Hey! Ajamu on the road again. Mama, oh yes I come. Ajamu on the road again. Mama, oh keep on singing. Ajamu on the road again. Mama, oh let us praise. Ajamu stopping at all. No way. Jesus paid my dues, so now I refuse to let man stop me. I know I've got this skill to do the Father's will, and He is with me to bless and keep me. So when you hear my testimony, you will know that the Lord has saved me. I am blessed as a heavenly warrior, marching on to the temple of my Father. No more will I go astray and worry about what who say. God has blessed me with this song, so just join and sing along. Tell them, let them know. With a new song, hotter than
Kingman, oh my goodness.
Yes,
I'm lost for words, and that is not something that is synonymous with me, you know.
Nah, let me tell you something innocent. Since I wrote this song, and I still refer to this song as one of the songs that I hadn't written. It happens right at this very spot here, because this used to be my grocery shop, the grocery store, and I've been here like helping out the wife in the shop and things like that, and that's when I got the inspiration. My guitar is always with me, of course, and I wrote the song right there in a very quick time. But since 1995, when I put that song out, I had so many people, making so many suggestions about what I could do with the song, because it had been one of my masterpieces. But hear what? I have a good buddy, brother, cousin, brother by another mother, Gus, Mr. Gus, Wayne Augustine, Master Mix Gus. He's one of the guys who he been a driving source for me from in the mid-80s, And he came to me, he called me one day, and after I started doing all these gospel rhythms, he called me and he said, Ajamu, I think Ajamu on the Road Again would be a good one.
To remix?
So, to remaking a gospel song. I say, okay. I'll think about it. But in the meantime, you could go ahead and see what ideas you can come up with, in terms of what direction you should take. But there's another brother named Sekou Johnson from Grenville.
Yeah, Dr. Johnson's son.
And he didn't say gospel, but he called and he said the same thing, that I think I could do something with that. And then Pastor Simon, I don't know what, but he not knowing anything about this. And he said, Jambo, that could take some, you could do that song. I want you to do that song. And I say, you know what, Pastor? My brother and I, we spoke about it, and presently I am really looking, but Pastor Simon was the driving force behind getting it done at this time to incorporate it with what's going on, and I think it was a fantastic idea. So Gus and I, we tally up between the lyrics, and we got it together, and this was done in a time it's like lightning,
the wink of an eye.
And if you listen to the chorus, we have the St. George's Baptist Church chorus doing some live chorus. And it's just a
worship team.
I am not worried about that at all, because I've been to a number of churches, but you have a worship team at SGBC that is unparalleled. Yeah. The vocals that, my good friend, what's his name again? He worked at Scotiabank.
Shannon.
Man, then there's
Kamala.
Oh my goodness. They hit some notes, Jamo.
Yeah, no, that church is about it. Well, I haven't been to many churches, but in terms of worship team in the church, this church, I think, have the most talent that I ever, experienced in one place, given place at a time. And so as a result of that, I've been inspired, so I am now working with some of the youngsters from there. So in the not too distant future, you will see some great things coming out of St. George's Baptist Church, musicals.
I am looking at Pastor Stanford Simon. He doesn't have a locks like you, but his hair is growing as you said that. Because I know him well. You know, he's someone that how should I put it? He makes you feel comfortable even in your sinful state, and he uses that to lure you into. There's a statement that you make all the time, right? We're living in this world while we prepare people for the heavenly kingdom. So here is where we are at.
Right.
You know that is. But in any case, if we could continue.
If I should jump in there,
please.
I don't want to be rude, but let me jump in and say something about my friend, you know, who I see as my baby brother, because I am older than he is, you know.
Really?
My younger brother.
Okay.
This man has character, you know. I mean, I've never met anyone like this, you know, in terms of letting people be, you know, in terms of your freedom. He's not into, as some people that I've run across, into pressuring you into doing nothing. But I think he's a man that open the flows. He's a very open-minded person, and I can speak for me. For the couple of years that I've been friends with him, you know, I see a man of great talent, inspirational person. How you call it? Out of the box thinker. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because this man keep coming with so many ideas, and I still asking myself, what is he up to? Is he up to something? Because this man, I don't know.
Is it a setup or something?
This man would call me all hours of the morning, all hours of the night. And then when I woke, this man is a zombie who comes into my life.
No, that's Pastor Stanford.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So let's get back to the gist of the matter. Give us the format for redemption.
Okay, so now we try to work with churches in every parish, and that's the idea. We are working with the sports club in St. David now, and really, really good. I just admire these people. But we have the format of doing work in the community, like now we're repairing the state and all of that. But we want to be able to give out food baskets and so forth, and that's what we're working with the sports club there in St. David, should be able to give out to needy persons in the community. So they would identify the people there. But we also want to form a relationship with them. We sign in a memorandum of understanding with the club. So as we go across the country as a church, remember our vision is building communities which become the model for winning people to Christ. Now the song that Ajamu was talking about, it's just an inspiration because that's a team song. Now, the team song we're going to use for redemption across the island. But the idea is that you have to bring the children together at 4:30, and a team is working with that. Kay and Cheryl and those folks are working with that. And then at 6 o'clock we start the program. St. George's Baptist Church, the worship team will be there. You have Pan Wizard Blaze from
MNIB.
Right. No, they are in River Road. Right. They would be there to play. You have special singing. You have the spoken word, which is a young man, to deliver that. You have preaching, and then you have the king man himself. I mean, would deliver his. And I keep saying, and I don't know if Jambo you could talk about it a bit, but being back on the same stage. You have always sang and where you started and build your own stage, but now it's a couple of years you haven't been back on the big stage. Maybe you could share a little bit about that to people, what that feels like.
Well, the way how I see it, how I feel, it's like I has been prepared for this moment, because as everybody know, and I've been an entertainer for the greater part of my life. Well-known entertainer in the world, and then 2016 happened, where I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, which still left me with some
Yeah, some impediments.
Yes. And from 2016, I never really got back to my old Ajamu self in terms of entertainment. Innocent, you would have known I've been preparing a lot of stuff. I did 2 albums during the period of COVID. I did a reggae album, completed. I got it completed. It was started before. And then I had another soca album, which Innocent, you were fortunate to be able to get a couple of the songs from that album.
Yep.
And all of this I've been preparing, but it's like God was saying to me that, hey, don't waste your time, because that page has been turned. It's a different chapter.
It's happening.
And now, I'm so excited about this whole thing, and there are so many great possibilities that seem to be opening up now with the new direction of my music. I'm eager to get back out there, and I think that I am ready now. You know what I mean? I am ready in terms of my mental, because it's no more about the bright light and and all of this. As I said in the song, I don't care about the likes and and all of that. This new song I sing it in Jesus' name. So let His will be done. And I must say that God has blessed me with this awesome vault of talents, because it's not one, as a writer, producer, musician, and all of those, and the blessing of that talent to perform and inspire people.
But Jam, Kingman, let me ask you this. You are starting that redemption journey on a stage that we worked on.
Yes.
We performed in a different dispensation. Now, what's that feeling like?
Yeah, well, as I said, it's not just like a stage that we worked on. It's a stage that I personally built that stage for a different purpose.
Yeah.
I never thought about it, but I went down there. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Pastor Simon took me there, so we could look at some things on the venue, and I was telling him, when I got there, I started to get very emotional, because it's like my mind was jogged back to where I was before, and now that is being at that same venue with a different mindset. I think all of this it was prepared. It was a preparation. I don't think that this had happened by accident, And now that we are going to be doing, out of 6 of these events, we're going to be doing the very first one there.
Yeah.
So my thing is, the way how I feel here, I cannot describe it, because I'm not a man of too many words apart from when I put them in a song. But I think that when the people come there, they would not just hear from me, but they would see what this whole thing is all about.
The transformation.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so we start in La Sagesse.
We start in La Sagesse, and we're hitting the 6 parishes. So every last Sunday in each month. So February it would be in St. Andrews. March it would be in St. Patrick's.
And then you go down.
And then we go down. And we have in April we have church on the beach, and then we go back to St. Mark. But one of the things that is also happening in March 11th to 19th, we have the doctors are coming. We have about 25 personnel, doctors and nurses and specialists are coming in March, and they too would be part of that, because the early part of March they would come in and we have a session. They would be in St. George's for 2 days, and they will be in St. Patrick's the same month we're having St. Patrick for 2 days in Roseville Baptist Church. So it's not only just telling people that Jesus saved, we also want to minister to people's physical needs. So we're doing both and help to transform lives. I think for me, I am just sitting back and what just happened, because for me, like I told Ajamu, I'm looking to see what God do with his life, because I think this is for him. I think God wants to do something magnificent with his life. I am only the part of the vessel God is using to help him and St. George's Baptist Church to do something he wants to do with his life. And because he have been singing and been touching people's life, they, like I said, they jump up, they're happy and they go home. But what's happened after that? Now he's singing a song to touch people's lives, and actually when they go home, it's about transformation. And to me, that is the crux and the depth of what God is doing with his life.
So in essence, Ajamu, now you're the iconic figure, right?
Well, you know, I never see myself as that, but what I'm saying, and I come to that conclusion from a long time. You and I spoke about this in a sense, you know, because you're one of the people who've been in touch with me when I was sick. You know, when I was laying on that hospital or in the rehab center, on that bed, one of the promise that I made to God is that if I were able to survive this and become viable again, that I would try to make my life different. And I think there are so many things that remind me of that, because, you know, sometimes we put things down as plans on the table, and sometimes we forget to implement them, you know what I mean? And I am so happy that I had adversity. Sometimes it gets the best out of you. And from since then, I just had this feeling that, you know, that my life, my purpose was supposed to be different, because God had saved my life, you know, and I did made a promise that I would try to be different. And so this been with me, and I came back here. I tried everything, I opened the bar and all kind of thing, but you know what? Things started to go downhill in terms of communication with the people. A lot of people who work very close to me, they disappear after a while, and I don't know for a reason, but I think it was God preparing me for this. And those things happen, and so one time I started feeling sad, you know, and started questioning myself about, well, what did I went wrong? What did I do? And then I searched back my life. I don't think that I did anything that would have warrant those kind of results, you know. So I think that was just God's way of talking to me.
That was the setup.
And one of the most beautiful things that happened to me is when I got sick, I became close to Pastor Simon, you know, from one encounter, and it just led to another thing. And Pastor Simon was one of the people who been praying with me every morning. You know, he would wake us up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he would pray with myself and my family. And then I promised him that when I come back to Grenada, I would visit the church. But something happened since I visited the church. The love, that kind of connection that I feel there, it was God put a net around me and say, hey, you think you're going anywhere? Well, watch me.
The hook wasn't in your mouth, it was down in your belly.
Yeah, and I mean, innocent, people wouldn't believe it, you know what I mean? I thought I was happy before. I thought I had everything. I mean, I had everything, you know, except a lot of money. You know, I never had a lot of money but I was always a wealthy man with so many things. And I could have gotten anything that I want. I could drive a nice car if I want to, you know? But this, where I'm at now, looking back, which I don't figure I should be considering too much, because I don't want to. I'm afraid I'm going to become a Lot's wife, a pillar's son. So I'm looking forward. But I thought I was happy before. But now that happiness that I feel, it's an inner peace. You know, oh my God, I don't know, but when people see me and they say, oh boy, how you look so good. I think it's just the spirits are shining on my countenance.
I'm preaching already, you know.
No, man. No, I listen, Ajamu, God have a special anointing on his life. And he's rightly said, it's long before. And sometimes God take time. He don't push you. And that's what I say. People come to church, right? And sometimes we as preachers try to push people to give their life to Christ. Or you don't have to leave. And when people are at the right time, they're going to make that. And when they make the decision, it's between them and God. And it's not about a church. And sometimes we bring religion into into things so much that we forget that this is about God and the person and that personal relationship they have with God. That is what this is about.
Ajamu, you remember 2016 or 2015? You remember we did this song, Nothing Happens Before Its Time?
Yeah, I think it was 2015.
Yeah.
Maybe 2016 too.
Could be. It was 2015. 2015.
Yes,
because, Yeah, because 2016 I went down to Trinidad with it.
Right.
Nothing happens before its time. And
nothing before the time.
It is so important that people understand that. You know, I wish the pastors and preachers come to terms with that, because if you pick a mango before its time, it is going to get what we call force ripe. Force ripe. Sir. Yeah, and it's not as tasty as if it reached to its full maturity.
Yeah, because a lot of the times we try to get people to get saved, right? And we kind of push them, we scare them into giving their life to Christ. That's one. Secondly, then we tell them they have to get baptized. And we give them a timeline. But you have to leave persons to make that decision. Let them get there on their own with their own personal relationship with God. You have to love them, care for them, and show them the love of God. Leave them. And I've seen it happen over at St. George's Baptist Church. That's what you try to do. It's to love people. That's what God asks us to do, is to love them and tell them that the sky's the limit when you surrender your life to God. And Ajamu had his own experience. I had my own experience, but I can tell you this. It's amazing. Before I came and did the interview with you, Ajamu, in 2016, when you got sick, when you got back, before you got sick, I didn't know you before. I know of you, but I didn't know you. And one day, God just laid me, you should go and do this interview with Ajamu. And I went up there. I talked about, we spoke for 3 hours. And from that moment on, but God, in his wisdom, knew exactly what he was doing. I didn't know. All I was doing was being obedient. And for us doing redemption across the country, all I'm just being is obedient. I don't know what would happen. All I'm asking Grenadian to come out and to see God at work in the life of a man who all of us have known, and to see what God is about to do. And I think a lot of lives will be transformed, and we at the St. George's Baptist Church is happy to be working with the Alliance of Evangelical Churches and any church that want to work with us to spread the word.
The invitation is open. So,
yes.
So Kingman, we're doing different songs now.
Yes.
We're done with that.
We're singing a new song.
Yeah, we're singing a new song.
It's going to say, I must let you know, I will open the door. But from now, every song is a positive one. So those people who come and say, Ajamu, we've opened up the door. Yeah, we opening up the door to Jesus.
Yeah. Gentlemen, we have to wrap up. I wish we could go on, but we have to wrap up in the interest of time.
I know.
So, any parting words?
But partner, for me, it is the 29th. Last year's playing field. We start at 4:30 with the kids come. We answer St. David. And persons around St. David, it's a big place. We ask you to come. They're a lot prepare for the kids. And then from 6 o'clock in the evening, come see what God is about to do.
As they say in the secular world, Ajamu, please mash up.
Please nice up. And Pastor, please tell them about the transportation, because I was so impressed with that. When I heard that, I said yes. So people don't have too much of an excuse now, you know?
Right.
So
yeah, because what we do, we are printing tickets for $10, right, to get up. So person who want to go need to buy the ticket, so we know how many people have tickets. And so that the bus leaving St. George's and heading up to, so we need to know if you get in one bus or two buses. So important that persons get the ticket. If they want to go, they need to come to the church and pick up their tickets. So we know.
I don't know which one of you somebody wants to say hi to. Let's go to the telephone line for a brief moment. Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, Innocent. And Innocent, I just want to say God bless Ajamu. Because as he mentioned the song that they open up the door. When I first heard that, I don't like Calypso. I don't listen to Calypso much. But if I'm on a station and a Calypso is playing, I might tend to hear the lyrics. But when he said, sing the song, open up the door, I listened to it. But when I saw him on TV and the action that went to that song, it turned me off. So I know it wasn't exactly what I was thinking it meant. It meant something else. So I'm thankful to hear him now say he's opened up the door to Jesus Christ. That's a turnaround, and I want to say God bless you, Ajamu. I will put you down on my prayer list to continue. I never knew you were sick. I didn't know what caused your transformation, but may God bless you, and I wish you very, very well. Have a blessed day, everybody.
Thank you. Blessed day to you.
All right. Parting words. Final parting words.
Jamo, I leave it to you.
Well, I just want to say that the way I see myself now is as an example, a testimony that there is another way, And there's a portion of scripture that says there's a way that seems that right to a man, but in the end it's destruction. And a lot of people are, as a friend of me, are the Jonahs in the belly of the whale. They want to make that move towards a better life, a better life in Christ. But there are a lot of reasons that holding people back, because I've always been someone who tried to walk with the fairness of God. But there were some things that have been holding me back, And I know I'm not unique. I know there would be people who share my stories. So what I'm doing now is putting myself out there, and I could stay home. Been there, done that. I've been on all the stage. I don't have to do this no more. I could just stay home and make songs and just, and do what I got to do. But I am putting myself out there as an example that the people who were on the boundary line like myself, they'll say, well, if a jam would do it, I can do it too, So this is what I want people to know, and take me serious. This is no joke, When I said I'm not looking back, I know that we all will stumble sometime, But I'm prepared that when I stumble, I will get up and walk again, So take me serious. For those people who hearing my songs, my new songs, and probably thinking that, okay, well, he's just singing a song and some nice songs about Jesus, It's a lot more than that. It's because of the way I feel in my heart. That's why I think that I've been inspired to do such beautiful songs. So take me serious and don't think that, okay, you hear what I say? They say backslide. I say no. I'm backsliding. Backslide is not part of it.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating 33 years this year as a married man. And before I got married, I got that concept in my head because I thought that's what it was, that marriage is forever. When you're married to someone, you vow a vow to be with that person for the rest of your life. On my agenda, divorce is not an option, right? So I take the same principles and I put in my spirituality. I think that I am here now because God made me feel that I'm ready for this. And as I say, I'm still a child and I need help in prodigal son. I need someone to hold my hand, and when I stumble and fall, help me to get up. But to go back, I said no, afraid. I'm not turning back. Afraid I may become a pillar of salt.
Ajamu, we'll continue this conversation one-on-one.
Anytime,
yes. Folks, I've been speaking.
You're taking too long to come and visit. And when you come in, please, just one thing I want. I want some seasoning pepper.
Again?
Yeah, seasoning pepper. I planted some, but I came back and I don't know what happened. All the trees disappeared.
All right. Weekend, Saturday.
Blessed
Saturday,
Lord.
please God. Folks, I've been speaking with Pastor Simon. He is a pastor at the St. George's Baptist Church, and Edson Ajamu Kingman Mitchell, as they prepare us for Redemption. Starts Sunday 29th of January at the Las Vegas playing field, and it's a national tour. Be a part of it. Keep listening to the networks. More information will be disseminated, and Look forward to seeing you in each and every one of them. I will be there.
Yeah, it is one Christ, one church, no one left behind.
No one left behind.
Folks, we have to end it here. So thank you for being a part of the program.
Thank you.
Don't you go anywhere.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. God bless you, Grenada. Happy 49.
It's redemption time now. It's revival time. It's revival time now. It's redemption time. It's redemption.
Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
What did you mean earlier about climate change, Mom?
Well, when I was your age, I remember beautiful coral reefs and healthy beaches. The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change, and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there was not much rain. You know, we realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
Same thing we're doing now, not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases, such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need some help before it's too late, Mom. We can't let it get worse. What can I do? We can raise our voices.
With 35 million dreams, aspirations, and futures at risk in Carry Forum, we need your voice in our story against climate change. Acknowledge, commit, act. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance Plus program and is funded by the European Union.
I want your folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money day.
Delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
You know, one day I woke up and, you know, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. You know, nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. As we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see, and the climate's changing.
But hope is remaining.
That we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we stand. Take care.
Hot 98 presents the 473 Colors Boat Ride. Going on Saturday, February 4. Get your tickets now at gotofed.com for only $65. Food included.
All right, folks, this is where we've got to wrap it up, man. It's, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles at times. I want to thank you for being a part of the program this morning. Yeah, that's life. It's volatile, it's dynamic, and we look forward to another program tomorrow where we'll have a conversation. Until then, thanks for being a part of the program. We've got to join the BBC, which is already in progress.